All right, everyone, welcome to this week's live. We are here at another Ask Us Anything Thursday night live. And I'll see who are on here. We have Alice, Amanda, Dominico. Hi, Janet. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Marty. Melissa is here with us. Nikki, Teresa, uh, Ariel. I'm going to butcher your name, Jonica. Nadine, Carrie. Hi, Carrie. So a lot of people here today. If you guys are used to doing these type of Zoom with us, you know that we have we here. He's my husband, and he's been answering questions on the Zoom. He's sort of like a back end guy. His background is actually in computers. So if you guys have any issues there, he's
well, not tech support, but
yeah.
But anyway, I'm actually on the chat for both Zoom and Facebook. So I'm going to be helping Amy moderate questions. So definitely send us your questions there, and we'll try to answer as many as we can.
Yeah, we're really excited today because we are actually going to be doing the drawing for the 6K Women Sellers Academy giveaway. You don't have to be here to win. So if I tag you in the post, then you have a number, and we're going to be doing the drawing at the end of today's live. And we are super excited to be a growing Facebook group. I can't believe we're at 6,000 in, I don't know, when we first started doing Replan, the group was at about 3,000, and I started opening up the group again. And within less than 6 months, we doubled our numbers in terms of members. So it's very exciting to have everybody here. We have some returning members as well as some new members. So I'm just going to quickly introduce ourselves because there's a lot of new people here that we haven't met yet. But if you guys don't know us, we are Amazon resellers. We've been doing this for about 6 years now. And recently, well, I guess not recent anymore, but ever since the beginning of the pandemic, we both started doing these full time because my husband here found himself out of a job during the middle of the pandemic. And I'm sorry, beginning, it was in March, right? And then at that time, I was 7 months pregnant with our daughter, and we thought we kind of had to make this business work for us because we were a one income family. So we knew about selling on Amazon. We knew the private label, the retail arbitrage side of things, but we never dabbled into Replan until the pandemic started. And Replan is really simple. It's the same thing as retail arbitrage, except you don't have to buy things at clearance prices or at discount prices. You can buy things on the aisle at full price and resell it over and over again. So it just pretty much stands for replenishable. Replan stands for replenishable. And we actually have a little guide that explains everything about what Replan is, and we'll put the link in there. And so that's how we got started. So we did it for a long time. And then I guess it's both luck and good timing that the pandemic hit and we had to kind of make more money. And at that time, I was scared to death because I didn't want to go to work. I was the pharmacist. And so we had to go to work and we had to see a lot of patients. So I was really scared being pregnant and being exposed. And so I told myself, and I sat down and talked to him about what are our options? Is it possible for us to do this full time? So during maternity leave, after I gave birth, we started both focusing on the business, and we saw growth exponentially, like at a growth like I've never seen before. We went from like 0 to 30K in a month. And then I was like, well, I guess this kind of works. And at that time, my sister was living with us, Cecilia. She was our shopper, our prepper, our packer, everything. And now she manages the entire warehouse for us. And we're so grateful to have her, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be able to have time dedicating to this community to help other people succeed with their Amazon business as well. And so that's like our story in a nutshell.
I just wanted to interrupt real quick. Sorry, it was a little bit blurry. Our webcam is starting to act up on us. So yes, you don't have to adjust your eyes. It's the camera that was.
Oh, it was blurry. Okay.
So I switched over camera, so I think everything should be more crystal clear now.
That's so funny. Okay. Well, at least you guys can hear us. All right, so that's pretty much how we got started, who we are. And so these lives happen every single week on Thursday at 5 p.m. Sometimes we have a specific topic, sometimes we don't. We do take requests. So if there's a topic that you are in need of, like something, last week we did Q4 planning because Jeanette really wanted to get a head start with Q4. And that video has been posted already. So if you missed it, you can watch the replay on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it for housekeeping. So stick around to the end so that we can do the drawing for you guys so that we know who is the winner for the Women Sellers Academy giveaway. It's worth $250. So I'm so excited to do this first giveaway. I've never done a giveaway before, so we'll see how it goes. So before we go on, I have some FAQs that a lot of people who are new to selling on Amazon usually have the same questions. So I recorded some of them, but if there's any questions that.
Yeah, we have actually one question coming in from Sarah over on Facebook. So she wants to know, I want to know how to pick a product to start. That's my main issue. Seems everything is already saturated.
Okay, so good question. If you are looking at items that are like hot sellers or things that are best sellers, yes, it could be very much saturated because a lot of people know about it. The key is to find items that not a lot of people know about. And I don't know if you're doing retail arbitrage, replan or retail arbitrage or private label or wholesaling, but for our model, we don't need to find just a handful of winning products. We have 1,000 different SKUs so that we can spread our risk across the board and we don't rely on one specific product. So in order to find winning products for us, it's sort of like let's say baseball. We don't do home run. We do first base, second base, or third base and try to get those products, as many as we can, into our inventory. So if you're completely like stuck, I definitely would recommend doing the pod. Unfortunately, the beginner's pod is full again. I'm so sorry, guys. I try to make it as available as much as I can. But there's a lot of people in there who are loving it and they're renewing their subscription. And so I'm kind of just waiting for people to cancel. And so we can get new members in. But if you guys are ungated, you can join the advanced pod. So advanced pod is if you are, so let me go back to the beginner's pod. Beginner's pod is where it's a list of leads that I send to you guys Monday to Friday. Each product makes $4 and at least $4. Most products are around, I would say $6 to $10. And then it's 40% ROI. And so if you are brand new and you're pretty much gated in every single category, then the beginner's pod is for you. The advanced pod, you have to be ungated in groceries, beauty, health, pet supplies. And so if you are ungated already and you're looking for a little bit more products to add to your inventory, then I would recommend the advanced pod, which is open. Beginner's pod is not, but you can get on the wait list. So that's pretty much how you can find products. Do you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say that we actually added a bunch of testimonials. A lot of the the members of the pods they just love it. So think of it as you play Monopoly, right? And you're trying to make your way around the board. You might lose money, maybe make a little bit of money, but it's grind. So what we do is we basically give you that card advance straight to go and collect your $200. Now we're not just going to give you the money, but we're going to do something even better. We're going to give you products that will give you recurring revenue over and over again. And it's like a shortcut. It's like if you're a video gamer like me, it's like a cheat code. You can just, instead of having to learn Keepa and reading graphs and spending countless hours, Amy is basically delivering these products to you. She tells you where to buy from, how much to price it, and then bam, bam, you just send it into Amazon and start making money. So it's as easy as that, really.
Okay, Marty, I'm going to take a Zoom question since that was a Facebook question, right? Okay. Marty asks, does Inform keep track of expiration dates and let us know when the date is approaching? If not, how do we keep track of expiration dates?
Okay, so Informed, for those of you that are unfamiliar, is a repricer. So as you know, the best way to sell anything on Amazon is to get the buy box. And in order to get the buy box, typically you have to have the lowest price. That's not always the exact criteria, but it is probably the main criteria. And you have to stay competitive. So if you have a handful of listings, you're starting out, you can kind of reprice it maybe throughout the day, maybe even daily if it's too much work. However, when you get to the point like we are, where like even saying we have, hundreds, if not thousands of SKUs, it's very difficult to keep track of everything, right? And on top of that, things are very competitive and pricing is changing at every possible second, So
Sorry, it's our tell mom, one of our babysitters.
So what a repricer does, it will allow you to basically sit back and allow it to do its job for you, right? So it's going to go in there. You're going to tell it like, what's your minimum profit you want to make, what's the maximum, and then it's a bot. It's going to basically compete. And other sellers are using those same bots too, right? So as a human, we have no chance of keeping with these bots. So we have to kind of fight back with our bots. So Informed, which I'm going to link here under our tools section, is basically a great repricer. We tried it out a few early on. We found that Informed was really the best one for us. Be Cool is another one. Amazon itself has its own repricer. We just kind of jumped straight to Informed because we liked it a lot. So now that everybody's kind of on the same page with Informed, let's go back to Marty's question. Does Informed keep track of expiration dates and let you know when the data is approaching? If not, how do you keep track of expiration dates? Okay, so that's not necessarily like a repricing question. But Informed does keep track of a lot of things. However, it does not keep track of expiration dates. So my suggestion to you, Marty, is that you buy stuff that typically is not going to expire for maybe like a year or 2 years, 3 years right from now, and you send it to Amazon. If it's still there a year from now, then that's a problem, right? That means that your listing the listing is not great. You haven't priced it low enough. It's time to get out. So honestly, you don't really want to keep anything in Amazon for more than really like a month, right? Sometimes we'll keep it in there a little bit longer, just as we can. My typical task is to wait until the FBA inventory age report has tell me when something's in the warehouse for more than 90 days. Fortunately, it's not too many of those items, but I will at that point do a removal order on them. So long story short, you're really not going to have anything in Amazon for that long, Marty. So you don't have to worry about expiration dates.
Okay. How are we doing on Facebook?
Facebook, let's see. No new question on Facebook, so we can go down to Zoom.
Next question from the Zoom is by Nadine. So I sent a Facebook message on Facebook. What's your method for sourcing as a beginner? I'm trying OA and going to stores. I'm ungated and really need a kickoff. So Nadine, to source new products, you need a lot of patience because in the beginning, we actually spent hours and hours in the store using just our cell phone with the seller app and also Keepa and finding products by everything. And if something comes up profitable, we will do the research even more with Keepa. And then usually that's the easiest way as a beginner, just because you're right there at the store and you're able to pick the product and just take it home. Online arbitrage is a little bit trickier because you don't know if something is big, bulky, and sometimes people don't know if they can sell it or not right away, because when you're scanning things at the store, you're able to see if you're approved to sell it or not. But when you are doing online arbitrage, sometimes you find the items and then you're like, great, I'm going to order it. And then it gets to your house and you find that you're not allowed to sell in it. So that's kind of a bummer. But definitely check out the pod if you're a beginner. And if you're ungated, then the advanced pod will be really good for you. And we have some great testimony from Lisa and Jeanette saying advanced pod is awesome and it's 100% recommended. So thank you guys. Yeah, I really think that if you need kind of like a kickoff or just to kind of jumpstart your business a little bit to kind of build up that inventory reserve, and Amazon loves it when sellers start to sell, right? That's the name of the game for selling on Amazon. So once you start making sales, a lot of times they will auto ungate you. So you don't even need to submit invoices in order to be ungated. Sometimes you can just be auto approved. So that's really cool about this whole like making sales and being able to get ungated. But then again, most people, they just want to get ungated before they get started. So they start buying items at wholesalers and distributors to get ungated. Okay, Tiffany said, when you have a product that you have bought because it was on sale, makes a good product, but when you replenish it, it would no longer be on sale. Do you start looking for that product wholesaler or a website such as Vital Cost or Frontier, or move on to another item? So Tiffany, a lot of time when things are on sale, they have cycles. So I would try to track the cycles if you want to replenish that item. If not, move on to the next one. You don't want to just idle on the same product if it's not profitable.
Yeah, and my personal belief is that when you buy something on sale in order for it to be profitable, that's not truly replenishable, right? Because you're waiting for a special circumstance. So traditional retail arbitrage is when you're doing anything that you're going down the clearance aisle or you're going to thrift stores to find stuff that is unusually cheap. For it to be replenishable, at least in my opinion, you should just be able to buy it full price without any type of sale or discount code or anything like that, because it makes it easier for you to go back and keep on buying it over and over again without having to wait for sale cycles. And also, when you're tracking the cost of goods sold, COGS, for accounting purposes, and you're buying it at a discount, and then later on you don't realize it, but you're trying to replenish your inventory and you buy it at full price. Now all of a sudden you might be not making any money or even losing money. So I think it's actually very risky to buy stuff that's on sale and then forget about it. And then you don't really, now you have to keep track, how much did I buy it for last time versus this time, and it becomes a big mess out of it, I think. So.
Not to say that it's not viable though, because I know some people do shop at Target and they wait for the sale to come on. So if you're good at keeping track of sales and maybe clearances, then you can do that and keep on replenishing. But yeah, the name of the game for replenishing is that you don't have to keep on scouring clearance aisles and discounts in order to make a profit. But if you want to put a note for yourself, maybe you have a spreadsheet or a Google sheet, and you're able to keep track of the sales and how much you bought it for. But just be very careful that the items are still profitable.
Okay. Thanks. We got some questions over on Facebook. I'm gonna jump over there real quick. So Caroline's asking, how do you narrow down how to pick a replen?
How do I narrow down? So there's so many product replenishable products. My criteria is that it has to make at least $4 in profit, and it needs to have at least a 40% ROI. And that is just the minimum. We are actually at around 100, and last time I checked, most of our products are averaging 112% ROI. So
ROI stands for return on investment. So it's a common terminology when you're investing, especially in stocks, right? So think of whenever you buy a product, that's an investment. You're buying it with the hopes that you're going to be able to sell it to make profit on it. So let's just say you buy something for $10, right? You walk into Walmart, you buy for $10, you sell it for $20 on Amazon. After the Amazon fee of, let's say, $5, and then it's going to be another subtraction of $10 of how much you bought the item for. So now you have total cost of $15. So now that $20 sale goes down to $5, right? So 5 divided by 20 is going to be 25%. So now you have a 25% ROI. So that's a little bit on the low end, right? But that's just an example. So for us, what 100% ROI means is that we've bought something for $10, and after Amazon fee and after cost, we have basically pocketed $10. So that means that we're buying for 10, we're probably selling it for 30, maybe even more. And that's just our average. So, Amy might have mentioned this before, but we have like a minimum of around 35% ROI. And some of our products, believe it or not, we've actually seen 300% ROI.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that we bought it for $10 and we are taking home $30. Not selling it for $30, but actually pocketing $30. So those are, we don't have many of them, but we do have a few. So that just kind of goes to show you like the incredible opportunity that Replen offers us.
Okay, so Marty, have a question. Do you know if we can edit our listing after we have piggybacked on the listing and add keywords, or can that only be done by the person who made the listing? So you can actually edit the listing, but you have to submit it to Amazon, and they are the one who determine if it's a viable addition or edit, and they will update it. You know what? We get really mad when some sellers update the listings to the wrong thing. So if you do submit the listing, just make sure you submit the right information, which I know you do, Marty, because you're amazing.
Yeah, so there are two parts that are really frustrating, right? A, you submit a listing change and nothing happens,
yeah,
right? So Amazon just basically ignores you. And then what Amy mentioned, some, stupid buyer goes in there. I mean, stupid seller goes in there and they completely change the listing to something else, right? They make it from a 1-pack to a 2-pack. Now all of a sudden, all the inventory you have in Amazon is not even what the customers are expecting. It's going to lead to negative seller feedback. It's going to lead to returns. So how do you protect yourself? Well, there's a service called BindWise that we use that would actually track the changes to every single listing you have. And if the title changes, if the picture, believe it or not, pictures have changed. So anything that changes that basically ruins the listing, you can either try to fix it or you can just close the list or remove your items from the listing, just move on at that point.
How we do on Facebook?
So we have a question from Anna. So Anna, I repriced something lower and they inactivated it. What can I do? So price deactivation is what happened to Anna.
Yeah. So price deactivation it's kind of annoying, but it's actually pretty fixable. Usually it's because the price, you're pricing something for higher than what Amazon, the history of that product has been for the last 3 months or so. So Amazon, all of this is done by a bot, so don't get offended. It just kind of triggers the Amazon bot to deactivate the listing if a product is priced too high. And so the trick is to lower it. What you want to do is to lower to what the price historically has been, and then slowly go up incrementally. And you can know what the price has been historically by looking at Keepa, or Helium 10 actually tells you that too. So if you guys have that, actually, Keepa has a free version that can tell you the price history. So you can go in and check out what it has been the average price for the last 30 days or 90 days and lower to that price and then slowly raise it up.
So what's interesting about Anna's question is that she said that she repriced something lower. So she lowered the price and she got deactivated. So I don't know whether that's what she actually meant. But typically, price deactivation happens when you raise the price too much. And Amazon thinks that you're just basically price gouging.
Actually, it goes both ways. So if you lower it too much, it will also trigger the bot.
I think to protect you.
To protect you from not making any money.
So it's possible that Anna got the good price deactivation to protect her. The other price deactivation is to protect the buyers where they feel like you're just charging too much for an item.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're good on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, we're caught up on Facebook.
All right. So Mabel, hi Mabel, asks, what do you recommend for situations where we purchase a product online that had a good stat, but by the time you get it, the price Amazon's really low? Should we wait? If so, how long do you recommend we wait for before repricing? So this is a really good question, Mabel, because it happens more often than not. If you want to answer this, I think it's direct message to us.
Direct message to you.
Oh, to me, okay. So Mabel, this is what I would do. I would check the price history of that product and see what it's been priced for. If it's gone down to the point where it's not even profitable anymore, check to see what the other sellers are selling it at. And sometimes the price is really low because the seller who has the buy box wants to get rid of their inventory. And in that case, just wait for them to clear out their inventory, and then you can put your price back at whatever it was. Because the majority of the time, we're just kind of waiting in line to get the buy box, right? So if we're averaging the price of all the other sellers minus the buy box winner, then we're gonna be still profitable on that product. How do you know how much that buy box winner have in stock? You can use RevSeller. RevSeller is an on-screen FBA calculator that allows you to see how profitable a certain product is after cost. And it also shows you the sellers on that listing. Keepa will also give you that information as well. And of course, you joined our Pay Keepa training about a few weeks ago. So you know how to look at the stock of the sellers as well. So just check out those things and see if it works. If not, just send me a message and I can give you more advice on that. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating, but there's definitely ways to go around it. Worst case scenario, you clearance it out and get your money back. get your investment and then move on to another product. But most of the time, you should be able to wait till the other seller sell out and then keep your price so that you don't do like a price war. We don't want that. Okay, you can take
Okay, so Janaika, hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is there any guide to step on how to open an FBA account? It was an FBA account.
So FBA account.
Yeah.
Yes. So the Women Sellers Academy, we actually walk through step by step on how to open a professional and individual account for FBA. And so if you're brand new, you don't have that yet, I really recommend getting onto the academy. We are doing a drawing at the end of today's live for a free winner. So unfortunately, it's already closed in terms of getting a drawing number, but maybe in the future you can. I don't even know when's next time we're going to do a giveaway. This is our first time, but I definitely recommend the academy. It walks you through step by step on how to do that.
Yeah, so not just that, but we worked on it to basically give you like every step you need to take A to Z in order to basically launch your replan business. And it's the exact steps that we took. However, it took us countless hours of learning, watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts to kind of get all these tips and tricks. So we've consolidated everything into one course. You get all the information you need. You also get an invitation to a private Facebook group just for course members. So it's really invaluable. We're constantly adding new modules to it. As a little spoiler. So I'm going to personally add a module where I'll be talking about how to ship meltables. So in case you don't know what meltables are, it's products such as chocolates that Amazon actually has stopped shipments into FBA back on April 15th because it's just too hot and it's all going to melt in their warehouses. However, the hack around that is that you can do FBM, fulfilled by merchant, meaning that you can ship it directly to the customer yourself. And I just started doing this about a month ago, and I've learned so much. I can't wait to share with you all on my trick to doing it. The thing is that it seems like such a daunting task that nobody else is selling on these listings. So we currently have a listing where we sell chocolates. Nobody else is on there. I had to raise a price because it cost me so much more work to ship it with UPS. I have to buy special box liners, cold packs. Guess what? It's still flying off the shelves. I can't keep it in stock. I have no competition because nobody's crazy enough to ship chocolates in the middle of the summer or spring now, right? But it feels like summertime. But guess what? When people are running away from something, you need to run towards it. I think Warren Buffett said that, right? So run towards shipping meltables, for example, and you're going to find great rewards for it. So again, so that's just extra bonuses that we give course members. It's a one-time cost, and you're a course member for life, even though we're still giving you more and more information as time goes on.
Yeah, and a lot of people are already kind of almost breaking even from what they paid in the beginning, because we did a couple of training that are paid, and it's included in the course, so you don't have to pay extra. Mabel asks, are most of your products RA or OA? So most of our products now are OA. It used to be about 20% OA, but now I'm doing a lot more online. So we still have retail arbitrage products, and it's actually replenishable products that our shoppers find in the store, and they drop it off at the warehouse. But most of our products now are OA. How are we doing Facebook?
Facebook is quiet.
Okay.
So Facebook people, where are our questions? Come on, send them. Just ask me anything. You got to ask it, right? But we still have a lot on Zoom. So that's why I put through Zoom.
Okay, so Janet is asking, what's too many sellers not recommended on item? So Janet, I would look at the entire picture and the entire listing of that product. If it sells, like, let's say this product sells 30 units a month, I would like to see it have less than 5 sellers. If it sells 100 to 200 units a month, less than 10 sellers, and also how many they have in stock. So the number of sellers doesn't scare me as much as how much they actually have in stock. And just be careful, because sometimes merchant fulfilled sellers, they inflate their numbers because they can put whatever in their inventory. If it's FBA, then that's more accurate. So like we do FBM. So we know that if we have if we can get access to a certain product really quickly, we can put that we have 100 units in stock, but we actually don't. We don't have it on our hand, but we can get it. So that's what most merchant sellers would do, and you would think that they have a lot in stock, but they don't.
So I will say just be cautious with that, because if you think you can replenish it and you go up to the store and they're sold out, then you are responsible for selling anything that happened, but you don't actually have it in stock. So unless you're absolutely sure, you should try to keep your stock numbers accurate.
Yeah, we don't recommend doing it, but some sellers do it.
But I'll be honest, sometimes I roll the dice because I'm just like, this is too hot of a seller for it to be out of stock. I know I can get it. And fortunately, I've been saved every time, but I do know that I am rolling the dice. So, just take it, no risk, high risk, high reward type of deal. But again, it is a risky proposition.
Yeah.
So I think I opened up a can of worms on Facebook because now we're getting questions coming in. So
I see Jeanette.
Jeanette and Melissa H, some of our favorite people on Facebook, are saying aloha, and Melissa's just listening in. No problem with that. Anna, you got a question for us. Where can I find HazMat training on Seller Apple? How do I get ungated in this category? I am the resident HazMat expert. I wish I wasn't. I make it sound worse than it is. So HazMat stands for hazardous materials, and it sounds like you're shipping like nuclear waste or sewage water. It's nothing that scary. It's simply aerosol cans, household goods with maybe bleach in it, things like that nature, right? Things that you can find in Walmart and Target. It's not going to kill you. However, aerosol cans are under pressure, and if you have enough aerosol cans in a box and it explodes, it's going to hurt somebody. So that's the reason why Amazon has categorized it as HazMat, and that's why they will not allow you to ship it in FBA to regular FBA. Now, you can join the HazMat program by getting yourself on the wait list. I don't have any links on the top of my head, but just Google it, Amazon HazMat wait list. And we did it. I think it took us maybe a few months, and then we got an invitation. We accepted it, and then we just sat on it because I was like, I don't know what to do. HazMat is so scary. First off, Amazon will not sponsor shipments through FBA with HazMat. What that means is that whenever you do a shipment plan with FBA, you've noticed how like Amazon will actually reduce the fees for like UPS and FedEx to the point where you could ship out 500 pounds and it'll cost you like $50, something crazy like that. They don't have the same type of incentive with HazMat, so you have to ship it yourself. That's going to increase in cost. However, most sellers are probably not HazMat validated, which means that now all of a sudden you are in a special tier where you can sell HazMat. And once you're able to do that, then it's really not as bad as it sounds. If you're shipping just consumer goods, you have to keep it to 33 kilograms. I forget what that equals in pounds. Do the math. It's not that big of a box. You have to have some special labels on it. I'll include the link to the UPS HazMat info on the chat real soon. But getting back to Anna's question, exactly, where can you find a HazMat training? Anna, honestly, you don't really need HazMat training. Part of the reason why I froze on doing HazMat is because I thought I had to do training. So it was total paralysis by analysis. I didn't do it for 6 months. And in those 6 months, I missed out on so many opportunities to send in HazMat. So don't worry about the training. I'm going to send you a link real quick here from UPS. That's really all you have to do. You just have to keep it at 33 kilograms and slap a couple labels on it. And that is literally all the HazMat training that you need.
You want to, if there's enough, if the Academy students, if there's enough interest, you guys let us know and we will do a module or a bonus module on HazMat, because we really kind of kick ourselves in the back because we should have done it earlier and get rid of all the stuff that we have that is HazMat. But because, like you said, because a lot of people aren't doing it, it's a lot more profitable and a lot easier to get on, and the listings usually don't get tanked because not a lot of people are doing it. So yeah, course members, let us know if you guys are interested and we can do a training about that. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll up on the questions.
Jeanette's got a nice question for us.
Hey,
She's
Jeanette.
asking, who is the ultimate boss, Amy or we? Well, Jeanette, I hope your husband, John, right? Is his name?
John.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure John knows this nice saying,
Jeanette.
happy wife, happy life. So that is the boss right there. If the boss is happy,
She's
I'm
trying to
happy. So
stir up some drama in here. But we love you, Jeanette, and we will forgive you. Let's see. I missed my spot on Zoom. Can you go next to the next question?
on Zoom or on Facebook?
On Zoom.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so Martina, actually above, I think above that.
I did. Oh yeah, I answer Ariel.
Yeah. So it's Martina. So Martina Zoom is asking, when sourcing your products, are you sourcing from US sources, websites, stores, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so when I'm doing it in well, we only source from the US, but we do sell on Canada and Mexico, and we source both in stores and online. We like to do online just because we don't have to go in store, but some products are only available in store, so we do go there. I think Ariel's question is actually pretty good. So I answer Ariel directly, but I'll repeat the question and let everybody know what it is. Are there any stores that are stinkers, not many replants, or have IP protected brands so I can avoid them? So stinkers, no. You can pretty much find replant anywhere. So any retail store you can think of, either online or in store, have replenishable products. You just kind of have to find them. IP claim, so the way that you can avoid getting IP claim is getting a Chrome extension. And we actually have one that we recommend that we use for the pods, and it will just alert you if something has an IP claim against that listing or that brand, so we stay away from them.
Yeah, so it's on our tools that we love page. I'm just gonna go ahead and link it again here real quick.
Yep.
So the IP alert Chrome extension simply kind of sits on your Chrome browser, and as you're going through Amazon, every time you land on a brand that is known for doing IP, which stands for intellectual property complaints, it's going to tell you. So you probably want to steer far away from these listings, because so what happens with IP complaints is that the brand owner, or they own the copyright, or they own the photos, or there's something that they don't like Amazon sellers doing with their product. They will actually formally file a complaint with Amazon. Amazon takes it very seriously because they've gotten in trouble with some counterfeit items recently in the news and in the press. So Amazon is very strict in this, and they will suspend you if you have too many of these IP claims against you. So what IP alert will do is that it will warn you ahead of time before you get in too deep trouble, and say don't sell, or it suggests you not to sell on this listing, and you should probably listen to it.
Okay. Marty is saying yay to adding Meltables to the academy. Yep, that's his job. He's going to do that. Michelle's asking, hi, I'm new to the group and wanted to know, is this your full-time job for the both of you? Just curious, as this is something my husband and I have been wanting to do. Advice on that would be great. So yes, Michelle, it is our full-time job. We both do this now. And we are very blessed that it actually was able to replace our income. I used to be a pharmacist and he used to be a software developer. So we're able to do this together, and it really is a blessing. So it's definitely doable depending on what your goal is, what your circumstances. You can kind of budget, see how much you have to get started. I have to warn you that this is a very cash hungry type of business, because you need money to buy inventory. And so once you have enough savings so that you can put money back into your business, that's when I would recommend getting started. Because if you start taking a salary too early, it's going to stunt the growth of your business. You won't be able to grow as fast. Not to say that you won't, but you just won't be able to grow as fast as you want it to. We were able to do it within, 8 months. We started taking a salary. 8 months, I quit my job. He already was laid off. So we had to kind of rely on half the business and half my income. And then after 8 months, I quit my job. And, ever since then, we keep on seeing more growth. Even now, during like the slow season of the business, we're still making more money than we already made last year. So we already match our growth, revenue growth of last year. So we can't wait to see what Q4 has to hold. And again, if you guys missed Q4, we did a live last week on it, and you can watch that on either the replay on Facebook group, I'm losing my thoughts, or on YouTube. So yeah, so Q4 is awesome, and we might do another session on that because I think there's a lot to talk about and to catch up with, at the end of the summer.
So over on Facebook, we have a question from Sarah. She's asking, what would you guys say is the biggest mistake starters make?
Okay, first one would be,
I think, not starting.
Not starting. Yeah, that's number one.
Basically,
kind of paralyzed.
I can't tell you how many people on the Women's Sellers group that says, I've been just kind of reading up. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
FBA seems so scary. It's not, and even if it is, just do it, because what you have to realize is that what is paralyzing you is paralyzing many other people around you, right? Mm-hmm. So just by taking the step of taking one step forward, you're already doing more than a lot of people have done.
Yeah, get your account up and running. Finding products is very tough for new sellers because it's hard, right? You're kind of finding these hidden gems that is taking a lot of your time, and but the great thing is that the more you do it, the easier it gets. And so just putting in the time, a lot of people don't have that. We're lucky that we have babysitters, but I know you parents out there, you guys don't have time to do this. So just being able to get started, number one, find products and find profitable products, and also find time to work on your business is very challenging for anybody. So in the beginning, I was working as a floater pharmacist. So I go to different stores, and in between my shifts, I would go to Walmart or Target and I would do my research. And sometimes it would take me like 4 hours to find maybe 5 products in the store. But this was all in the beginning, and it was a learning curve. And so eventually I can kind of spot products very fast and easily. But it does take a lot of practice and a lot of patience. This is not something that is like an overnight success. A lot of people might make it seem that way, but it does not happen overnight. So if you need tips and you just need to kind of jumpstart your business to get products, then again, we recommend the pod, and a lot of people here actually do too. So we just added a bunch of testimonials to the pod waiting list. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check out, we'll put the link in there as well.
And your catchphrase is do it.
You can do it, just do it messy. Start it, but if you don't start, you never know where it's going to end up. But if you start and you mess up, or for some reason the listing got deactivated, or you sent in the wrong item, it's not the end of the world. You can make it messy because you learn from it along the way. So just do it. You can do it messy. Yeah, that's my catchphrase. I didn't even know, but now I guess it is. Lisa said, yep, same here. Can't keep my chocolate in stock. Yeah, chocolate is huge right now. If you guys can do it the right way, it's very, very good. Very good. Again, we will do, I have a deja vu moment. We're going to add it to the Women's Sellers Academy, the Meltable module. So what course was that? Ramona, I think you're asking about the Academy. That is the course that we talk about replen and how to get started with finding products, using TIPA and outsourcing. And if you're brand new, it also talks about how to create your Amazon seller account. Okay. How do you want Facebook?
Facebook. Jeanette is asking. Okay, first off, Jeanette, you're asking about our CPA. Just DM me. I'll give you that information. And then she's asking, what is the worst part about our job?
So it's tricky because some days, like any sellers out there or any type of business, we do have our slow days, right? And sometimes when it's slow, we're like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? But we kind of grow to be okay with it. And now we have to stop looking at the numbers day by day, because that's going to kill you guys. You have to look at an overall picture. If within the last month or within the last quarter, you're seeing growth, then be okay with it and just trust the system. Because sometimes I think for me anyway, the grass is always greener on the other side. And so once I quit my job, I always like the first week I was, telling myself like, oh my gosh, what if I did something wrong? Or what if it was we're not going to make sales and we can't keep the roof over our head? A lot of these thoughts kind of come into your head and it will not go away. Trust me, you just have to kind of shut it off and tell it to go away. And kind of control your minds a little bit and have that mind shift that this business is going to work. It's worked for so many people and it's going to work for you as well. So that's, to me, is the most challenging part, like always having that entrepreneurial doubt. But I've never been happier, like my entire life with working for somebody else. It's just drained me so much that now I have, both of us, we have control of our future. And we're seeing growth in every single area of our life. And we're happier as a couple. Before when I used to work, I would come home and be stressed out. And in the weekend, I have to work and he has to watch the kids. It's just it was a lot of challenges. But everything comes with challenges. And I promise you, once you are ready and you take that leap of faith, just don't look back. You're going to be at a better place. So I hope that answered your question, Jeanette. It might be a long-winded answer, but.
Yep. So Jeanette followed that up with clarifying, was I really doing this full time after I got laid off? The answer is not right away. After I got laid off, I started interviewing for jobs, which I hated to do. And then Amy was like, oh, why don't you check out Replan? So we went on a couple of shopping trips. I was like, this Replan thing is stupid. I've spent 2 hours in Walmart. I can't find a darn thing. Nobody's going to buy stuff for more on Amazon than it would at Walmart.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of time on my hands, so I kept going at it. And I was like, we sent in an FBA shipment. I was like, what?
It started selling literally when it hit.
Are you kidding me right now?
As
our sons like to say. So yeah, the answer is I have been doing this full time basically ever since I got laid off. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's also saying that she didn't see the Q4 replay on YouTube yet.
Oh, really?
Yes, I guess you might need to update it.
Oh, yeah. I will send it to you, Jeanette. Yeah, I have it. It's there. I hope I didn't make it private, but it should be there. Tizia asked, I'm yet to start my Amazon business. Which model should I start with, or what would you recommend, FBA or FBM? Getting started, I definitely recommend FBA because Amazon does all the work for you.
Yep.
FBM stands for fulfilled by merchant. That's when you do all the shipping.
Like eBay.
So
FBA for sure, right?
Do FBA.
It's a little bit harder because you have to do shipment plans, and then that's really the hardest part of it all, right? You send it in there, and then you just kind of watch the sales happen. FBM, now you got to get a bunch of boxes, you got to get a bunch of packing supplies, you got to pay for the UPS label, you got to take it to the UPS store. It's fine if you just want to kind of get your feet wet, but really, if you plan on scaling at all, you have to do FBA. So really just start out with FBA. Now, I think there was another question. Can you do both FBA and FBM? And the answer is yes. In fact, we're doing that right now, right? So my example earlier of sending off chocolates, that has to be FBM because FBA will not allow chocolates in their warehouses, right? Amazon will not allow it in their warehouses. So in those cases, you have to do FBM. Another example is last summer when the pandemic hit, Amazon workers were getting hit with it. The warehouses were slowing down to a halt. I think a warehouse even caught on fire. There's all sorts of craziness, right? 2020 was just a crazy year. And in the midst of that, FBA shipments were just sitting on Amazon stocks. So Amy and I were like, you know what? We love Amazon, but we can't rely on them for right now. So let's just go ahead and do FBM. And over the course of a few months, we were doing crazy amounts of shipments on FBM because again, FBA shipments were just not happening. So people were just buying. Amazon customers were still shopping, but they weren't getting the products FBA. So that's when we kind of filled in that crack, and then we shipped out stuff FBA. So yes, you can absolutely do both, but start with FBA first.
Okay, to see a follow-up with the question, also, what is the process for getting the products to Amazon warehouse and also the process for getting ungated? So Tisia, there is a few ways you can do it. So if you buy the product online, for example, you can get it shipped to yourself, prep it up, and then send it to FBA. In between, there's a lot of processes like learning how to do a shipment plan, adding the product to your inventory, and also setting up getting ungated. Let's say like you're asking, because getting ungated, you have to submit some invoices from a distributor or a warehouse. I'm sorry, a distributor or a wholesaler, and that just takes some time too. The whole process will take you like if you can get your products into your house like at the store or online, you can probably see sales within a couple weeks. But getting ungated might take you a little bit longer. You have to buy 10 units of the same item for a certain category in order to get ungated. So let's say you want to get ungated in groceries. You have to go to a wholesaler like Frontier Co-op. I'm not sure if they're still accepting. I know for a while they stopped accepting new applicants. But if they open up their application process again, you can get ungated using their invoices. So you have to buy 10 units of the same item and then submit that invoice to Amazon to get ungated in groceries or any other category that you want to get ungated in. So there's a long, I mean, there's a learning curve, and we explain all of that inside the academy. There's a module dedicated to FBA shipment plans. CC did a really great job, and they just updated their shipment plan process, which is a whole headache. This happened last week, and we're going to update that module as well. And there's also another module on getting ungated. So definitely recommend the academy if you are just getting started. Mabel said, yes, do the HazMat module. Okay, that's all you.
HazMat and Meltables.
HazMat and Meltables. So yeah, inside the academy, every time we add new modules, it's going to be, included. You're not gonna have to pay anything extra. Melissa, go ahead.
We got Michaela on Facebook. She's asking, did you start with replan from the get-go or did you go into RA first?
Yeah, so Michaela, we actually did RA in the beginning. We went to Goodwill, we went to Walmart clearance aisle. That's probably the easiest way to get started because you don't have to spend too much money. And then we just saw that it was taking up a lot of time because we don't know if a product will, we're gonna be able to find it the next month. So it wasn't super scalable for us. I know a lot of people are able to do that full time. And then we jumped into private label, which is a whole nother story that I won't get into today, but that didn't work for us. And then we did replan. So we didn't start with replan right away. We actually started with RA.
Yeah, we've actually been selling on Amazon for 5-6 years now. And then in those 5-6 years, we were just trying to figure out what worked best for us. And then a year ago, lightning struck and replan hit us and we were floored by how awesome it was. And, that's where we are now, just a year later.
Marty also said, yes, please add it to HazMat. So we have a lot of requests here. And Mabel said, that was sweet of you. I don't know what you did. You probably say I was the boss.
Okay, so we are caught up on questions on Facebook. So,
awesome. I think we have.
The answer Melissa's question. One of my shipments, she sent to me.
Oh no, I think.
Okay. So Melissa on Zoom is asking, one of my shipments, I accidentally sent one extra for one of the items. Do you know what they would do with this?
One extra.
Yeah.
So Melissa, if there's extra, it would become stranded and you would have to remove it back to you. And removal order probably is like 50 cents.
50
right?
cents.
Yeah. 50 cents. Yeah. They won't penalize you unless you made a mistake in, well, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. But I know they will have a fee if a box is over 50 pounds. If you send in a product mistakenly, I don't think they will charge you a fee, but don't quote me on that.
They, I'm pretty sure service fees are only for like what you mentioned, if it's over 50 pounds, or if the dimensions of the box is over 25 inches. So to be safe, we always kind of go down to like 49 pounds, hoping that, we have a 1 pound leeway. And then our boxes max out at 24 inches. Believe it or not, even though we send in 24-inch boxes, we actually have been penalized for having too big of a box. The reason being is that the box actually got crushed. And in doing so, 24 inches became 27 inches.
Yeah.
And I filed an appeal saying, look at the box, it says it's 24 inches. It just got crushed. So what happens is that Amazon has a bunch of fancy bots and cameras that are literally scanning thousands of these boxes, maybe million, whatever, crazy number of boxes, right? And the robot just saw that happened to be bigger. It wasn't a human to penalize this, it was a robot. But going to your earlier question, when your inventory numbers are off, they might suspend your FBA shipment privileges, which sounds scarier than it is. All that means is that they just want you to be aware that something's a little bit off. You acknowledge it, and then you can start sending in your shipments again right away, as soon as you click acknowledge on it.
Okay. Mabel has a follow-up question about the link you sent with tax jar in it. You said that tax jar is the best way to navigate the tricky and confusing world of charging Amazon customers sales tax. They will connect your Amazon account and let you know exactly how much money you need to remit each state and how often. I thought Amazon did that for us. Mabel, so they don't. The crazy thing about Amazon is when you, I think this is a question for him, so I'm gonna wait until you finish answering.
I was just replying to
That's okay.
something on Facebook, but sorry, okay.
That's okay. So when you do sales
yes,
tax,
I read this earlier. Yeah. So okay, so Mabel, the confusion with sales tax is Amazon did get sued by a bunch of states, and they ended up having to collect sales tax for sellers that have a nexus in that state, right? Well, guess what? Amazon has warehouses in almost every state, which is what a nexus is. It means that you have a presence in that state. It doesn't mean that you actually have a brick and mortar or even an address in the state, but because you are selling on Amazon, now you have to charge sales tax. So right off the bat, Amazon does not charge any customer sales tax. And you must be thinking to yourself, well, that's great. All my customers can buy this tax-free. Pump the brakes, because if the states find out that you are doing this, they can actually sue you and you're going to be in trouble with them, right? So what everybody needs to do is go to my online tools that we love link, go to TaxJar and read up on sales tax. So you actually have to register for a sales tax number in all those different states. Also, when you're creating your listing, you actually have to set the tax category as A_Gen_tax. That just means that you're actually charging your customer sales tax now. And the other part of that is that now that your customers are being charged sales tax, well, where does all this money go? That's what TaxJar will do for you. TaxJar will basically determine whether Amazon sent in the taxes for you or whether you need to send in the taxes, right? Florida is an example of a state that does not accept sales tax directly from Amazon. Amazon charges and collects the sales tax, and they will actually pay it to you when you have your disbursements. And then it's your responsibility to submit it to Florida. Other states, Maryland, for example, I believe, they actually will get their sales tax directly from the state. So, Mabel, the answer is yes and no. Amazon does do some stuff with sales tax, but do not assume that you don't have to get involved in it, because you do. And TaxJar will teach you everything you need to know, and they'll do all the work for you.
Hi. Hey. Sorry. So let me just clarify this, because now I'm very confused. When I go on Amazon, and I know before it didn't used to be this way, but when I go on Amazon now, I am charged tax just to buy for my own personal things. They do charge me taxes, right? Okay. So does that mean that if I'm buying a product from, a seller that is not Amazon, they are getting that tax money that I paid?
Yes. So you're saying that you're in the checkout process, you see that there's sales tax being charged to you?
Always. I mean, for the past, I think 2-3 years, I think, because I remember thinking, oh my gosh, now they're charging taxes. So I have to pay taxes every time. So basically, in my case, okay, so now I'm a seller. And if the customer buys a product from me, Amazon will charge them taxes and they will give me that money and I have to submit that to each state.
No. So Florida was one of the majority of states do not require you to submit the sales tax to them directly. Florida is one example of a handful of states that for whatever reason does not trust Amazon to send them the sales tax, so they want you to do it. Now, the rest of the other states, even though Amazon is collecting sales tax and sending it to the states, you still have to file a return on either a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. And I understand your confusion with sales tax. It is uber confusing. And so quite literally what you have to do is go through each state. TaxJar has a blog for each state. They have 50 blog articles for each state detailing how each state charges sales tax and how they want you to file it. And I'm sorry to say, but you do have to go through all 50 of them just to make sure that you're compliant with all of them. It's a huge hassle. Earlier, Jeanette asked what I hated most about this job. It is filing sales tax. Even though I know exactly what to do, I do not like doing it. In fact, I just got reminded on my iPhone that I need to file sales tax this month, and I am procrastinating because I don't like doing it. But
okay, we're gonna need a whole new module now in the academy for this.
You ran through it, right?
For me.
I think
I had no idea I had to do this. In fact, when I was looking for like information here in Virginia, just to sell stuff, on like if I built my own website and I wanted to sell some products that I got from Alibaba or whatever, I looked and they said that Virginia is one of the states when selling through an online marketplace, which Amazon, that's what it is. They don't require me to pay taxes because the agreement is that Amazon is going to pay Virginia the taxes. But now, does that mean that Amazon will do that when the product was sold and shipped by Amazon, and not do that when the product was sold by whatever store shipped by Amazon?
So it actually boils down to, are any of your products, or have they ever been stored in a warehouse in that state? And if the answer is yes, then you have what I refer to as a nexus in that state, meaning that now you are conducting business in that state and you need to charge everybody, even if it's just one item that is stored in that state's warehouse. Now the whole state, any customer that is buying from you will have to be charged sales tax. That's the legal definition of when you need to start charging sales tax. And the fact of the matter is, like, once you get to a high volume enough level, you pretty much have your items all across the country, right? Because that's how Amazon gets everything shipped prime, because they spread your inventory across the country. So at this point, I am confident that we have a nexus in every single state that is charging sales tax. So I, probably 40 out of the 50 states that I need to kind of do sales tax returns for.
Okay. Do you by any chance have that blog on link handy that you could put in the chat maybe, or on Facebook?
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll give you an example. So I'll give you an example of like the Virginia one, for example, right? And then from there you can kind of, actually, yeah, I think there's one blog where it gives you a map of the US and you can actually click through different states. So I'll link that right now.
Yeah. Okay, because I think I don't even know what to look for. I'm in shock right now.
Yes.
It's confusing. And he always tells me that's the least favorite thing that he likes to do, working on sales tax. So,
oh my gosh. Okay.
It is a learning curve.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nice talking to you again, Mabel.
Yes, nice. Same thing, Amy.
So Sarah's asking, do you recommend creating an LLC before selling on Amazon? I would say no, Sarah, unless you already have one. You don't have to create an LLC. Most people just get started as a sole proprietor and using their social security number. So you don't have to, so it's very easy and you don't need to have trademark or anything before you start selling. I'm sorry, I'm going to say your name wrong. Tamito asks, what is the best profit range we need to look out for as a new seller. So I like to be a little bit more in terms of the net profit around the $4 or $5 range, just because when you're only profitable for $1 or $2, there's other fees that you're not aware of that might just make you pretty much break even or sometime at a loss. So the more profitable an item is, the better, right? But usually I like to stay around the $4 or $5 range in terms of net profit. Janaika asked, is there a customer service number for Amazon FBA? There is. So the thing that you have to do if you're a seller is you have to go into your Seller Central, and then there's a question mark, and you would have to go to click help. And then on the bottom left-hand side, you'll be able to create a case with them. And then the tricky thing is that they don't want you to call them, right? So they never give you the number. But you would have to say, my question is not here. And then they'll give you a number, or they'll ask if you want them to call you. So usually that's what we do. And that's how we get a hold of a customer representative. So it's kind of annoying, but it's there. Janaika, if you need help, let me know. Aria's asking, can you share some of the factors for deciding not to continue sourcing and selling one of your replen? Yeah, that's a good question, Ariel. So for me, if an item pretty much just is not profitable anymore, as long as something is profitable, we continue to replenish it. If it's not profitable anymore, or Amazon is on the listing where, you know, the buy box is not, they're not sharing the buy box, then I stop selling. If there's too many sellers and it's tanking the price, it's making it non-profitable, then we stop selling, or we can't source it anymore. So those are some of the reasons why we just stop replenishing. Not to say that we'll never go back to it, because there are products that stop selling during, let's say Q1, but then again during Q4. So we keep it there, and then we source it again later on if we have to. So Mabel asked, and we already answered her. It's going back and forth now with you, Mabel. Just is asking, do I need an LLC or EIN to purchase from wholesaler companies? Most of them do require you to have an LLC or an EIN. Not all of them do. I know that EE distributors or EE distribution, they do require an EIN. Frontier Co-op, I'm not sure, but it's not required for all of them. You just have to check with individual wholesaler companies. Marty's asking, my profit for most of my replen is less than 4 or 5. For instance, let's say a certain mustard brand is profitable, even in a bundle, it's hard to profit that much, but the ROI is at least 35. Yeah, Marty. I mean, you know, we used to, when in the beginning, I was actually making $1 from some products, and I was happy with it because it kind of gives us validation that we're not doing something for no reason, right? So I would say if it doesn't make at least 4 or 5, it's okay, as long as it's, you know, still profitable. Go for it. You know, it's just at some point, you know, you might run into like a cash flow issue. You want products that make a little bit more money. So the pod, if you join, the minimum profit is $4. Most of it is around $6, $7. So just to give you guys an idea, and they're at 40% ROI. Okay, Ariel says thank you for answering our question. Teresa is asking, do an item have to be shipped in an individual box? Let's say a book, does it have to be shipped in the box? So Teresa, if you are shipping to FBA, it does not have to be shipped individually, because actually Amazon does that for us, right? We pay Amazon to prep and pack and ship it to the customer. So when you ship it to Amazon, let's say you have 5 books and 3 pencils and 2 erasers, you're going to put all of that in one big box, and you're going to put a label in the box and ship it to Amazon. So that's how FBA works. Each individual items does have to be labeled with an FNSKU label, and that's the unique code that every product has that, you know, tell Amazon that it belongs to you. But you don't have to put it in an individual box. That's going to take you so much time and a lot of money, so you don't have to do that. Some items do need to be prepped though, like poly bag or bubble wrap if it's like fragile. So those are the things that you have to prep before you send to FBA, but you don't have to put everything in a box.
I was asking because I had 5 books and they shipped them to 3 locations. So could I put all of them in a box and the labels, or do I have to separate them and send them to 3 locations?
Yeah, if it's going to different warehouses, then you have to put them in separate boxes. The key to getting the shipping cost down is that you need to have more items in the box, and you need to get as close as you can to about 50 pounds, because that's when the shipping cost to Amazon is the most, like it's the least amount. So for us, we pay about 40 cents per pound, and that's because we try to get as close to 50 pounds as we can.
Also check your FBA shipping settings, because you might have it where it's distributed inventory setting, which means that Amazon wants you to basically spread your books across the country to different fulfillment centers. You can choose what's called inventory placement service, where Amazon will then possibly have you send those 5 books to just one warehouse, and then they'll charge you a fee to send it to the other 2 warehouses, using basically their time and effort. So if you go to settings in the upper right corner, choose FBA shipment or shipping, and then look for inventory placement service. That's what you should be kind of focused on, I think, is the question.
Okay. Janaika is asking, what happened when you send an item to Amazon and it doesn't sell? It's over 300 pieces. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And would they return it to you? So they won't automatically return it to you. You have to do a removal order or a disposal order. So let's say you want to get it sent back to you, you have to do an order for that, and it is 50 cents per unit. And if you want them to destroy it for you, it's 15 cents per unit. So those are the 2 options. Temato asks, I was ungated in beauty, topicals, and groceries, but couldn't get a profitable on the range you said online in store. What advice do you have for me sourcing as a new seller? So Temato, I would say, not to like keep on talking about the pot over and over again, but when you have, you're like on a roadblock, sometimes you just need ideas on where to buy the products, and that's where the pod comes in. So I really would recommend it, especially if you are ungated in beauty and groceries, to join the advanced pod, because a lot of the pod members are telling me that all the stores that I source from, they've never heard of it before, and it kind of gives them ideas on source from that store or that category, and it kind of gives you goes on like a rabbit hole. Is that right?
Go down a rabbit hole.
You go down a rabbit hole by finding new products. So that would be my recommendation for you. Ariel's asking, what would you say with all of your organizing and support that you've spent less time on this work than you did in your full-time job? Is it because you are happier and working the same amount of hours? So Ariel, I'm actually working a significantly less amount of hours, believe it or not. With the e-commerce side, we were actually just talking about that. I only do about 10% of the work, which is kind of embarrassing, but also like we have people to source for us. We have people to shop, and Cece, my sister, she's managing the entire warehouse. So I check in on her every single morning, and I probably would do maybe 10 hours a week now on the Amazon seller side. And then now we focus a lot of our energy to helping members to grow their business. So most of my everyday responsibilities has to do with women sellers, product find pods, advanced pod, the academy. He's still pretty much hands-on with the e-commerce side. So he handles a lot of our bookkeeping, but we are definitely happier. We're working less hours and we're happier. We, set our own schedule. We get to spend more time with our kids. And so it's very rewarding. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not. There will be some downtime, but just think of the overall picture and imagine yourself being there. It will get you there faster. Yeah, that's, having the mindset is so important. And I think I did a whole mindset module in the course as well. So If you guys are interested, let us know.
Yeah, I would say that, when you're starting out, you're going to be working a lot of hours,
Oh yeah.
40, 50, 60 hours. But the time flies, right? Because you're not working these hours for somebody else. You're investing in yourself, right?
Mhm.
Every hour you're working is furthering your business and getting you to that point when eventually you can outsource and you can hire people to kind of do stuff for you, and then it becomes a little bit more passive for you. Yeah, I mean, that's a difference between somebody who's self-employed, meaning that you're still working your business, versus a business owner where you don't have to work. You can actually step away and the business will still continue operating. We're not quite business owners yet, but we're headed in that direction.
Belle's asking, I have an item that's fragile, so I purchased a box to put it in. If I close the box, tape it, and put my FNCU label on it, it won't open, right? So correct, it won't open. They won't open it. If you tape it up and put your FNCU over the box, you should be okay.
Yeah, we've done this, and what I actually did was I used instead of using like the small Avery labels, I actually used the bigger 4x6 labels, and I even like put a picture of the item on there.
Mhm.
It was a bunch of spray bottles, and just because again, you have to remember that the customer, that's how the customer is going to be getting your item. It's going to be coming in a box, an unlabeled box with just a little FNCU on it, and it's not the most presentable way for a customer to receive it. There's nothing wrong with it, and you're not going to get in trouble for it. But I like to kind of just put a bigger sticker on it, just kind of give the customer some idea of what they're opening up.
Yeah. Lisa's asking any suggestion on how and when to get a virtual assistant. So Lisa, if you're at the point where you're ready to outsource, yes, definitely look into a virtual assistant. The website I use is called onlinejobs.ph. And we put an ad out there and we got tons of applicants. Be very specific about what jobs you want them to do and interview them, give them the rates, the hours. I'm assuming you want somebody overseas because they're a lot more affordable, but you can definitely get a virtual assistant in the States as well, in the country. They're just a little bit more expensive, but you kind of get what you pay for. But the people in the Philippines are amazing, about actually all of my virtual assistants are in the Philippines. So they're very affordable. They're really good at what they do. They're friendly and they take their job like very seriously. When do you start looking for a virtual assistant? When your time is worth more than $4 an hour, which I'm pretty sure your time is, because that's how much we pay our Philippines, and they're very grateful for their salary because a lot of them make maybe $10 a day. So they just have to work for us for a couple hours and they're already making the amount that on average what they would make the entire day. So they're very, very grateful for their job, and there's a lot of them out there. So yeah, I would start there, and then if you need more, keep on hiring out more, because that's the only way you'll be able to grow your business. And this is probably going to be our last question. And maybe I will answer your follow-up. Well, actually, I'll answer your question too. But we'll take 2 more questions because we actually have to go pick up our kids. Tissia is asking, please, can you assist me with some of the names of the wholesale company for cosmetic? Yep. So the one that I would recommend for beauty is actually Frontier Co-op. They have a lot of beauty products in there that you can get ungated for, and cosmetic as well. So Frontier Co-op is about, is there a setting on Amazon platform to print a bigger FNCU? So no, what we did, what did you do? You put it in like a Google sheet.
I just
right?
used Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
And then I just resized the page to be 4x6 inches. And then I just printed it directly to our Dymo printer. I know Rollo is another popular thermal printer, but that's basically how we made our larger FNC labels.
Yeah. Okay, we made it through.
Yeah. So actually, before you do
Yeah.
your drawing,
Oh yeah.
we also wanted to announce that we're going to be doing 2 AMAs, Zoom live calls,
June.
starting June 1st, which is a Tuesday. We're going to be doing West Coast AMAs. So what that means is that we're going to be doing it at 8 p.m. Eastern time, or I should say, we're doing it 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? So that means that for all you West Coast people that have a hard time joining this because it's like 3 o'clock in your time and you're at work and you don't want to get burned in, you know, we're going to be doing it at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday starting June 1st. And then on Thursday, we're going to be sticking to the same format. So it's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Tuesdays is the West Coast AMAs, and Thursdays will be the East Coast AMAs.
Yep. All right, so we are going to do the drawing. I'm going to share my screen. So this is kind of cool, guys. It's the first time we're doing this. So I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see the wheel spinning. Let's see. Hopefully this works. All right, you guys see our wheel?
Right, so 15 entries, right?
Yep, 15
And
entries.
this is going to be completely random.
Yep. All right. Good luck, everybody.
Here we go. This is like Wheel of Fortune.
And
15. Number 15.
All right, so 15 is, let's see who we have here. Sharon, you're our lucky winner for this first ever giveaway. Yay, Sharon. If you're on the live, congratulations. If not, I'll reach out to you, and if you're watching the replay. But thank you everyone who entered into the drawing and telling us why you guys love the Women Sellers community. It really does mean a lot to me. I read every single one of the entry. So I'm so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. It has been such an amazing journey with everybody, and how we got here, and how, you know, seeing some of you just starting out and then eventually getting to a certain point where you're making consistent income has been so rewarding. So we're very thankful and blessed to have every single one of you a part of this community. So again, I don't know when we'll have another drawing, but we definitely will keep you guys updated with everything. And we're going to start doing this twice a week now. I know a lot of people can't make it to these lives today usually, but we're going to start, you know, having another session on Tuesdays.
Yeah, and
So,
you know, just because you're in the East Coast and you can't join us on Tuesdays,
yeah,
you know, 8 p.m. maybe, you know, you put your kids in bed earlier, and then you can actually join us at 8 o'clock better than 5 o'clock, right? So,
Yeah.
or if you're like a, you know, a Zoom junkie like Jeanette is, I know that you'll be joining us twice a week, right, Jeanette?
Zoom and Facebook
Yeah.
junkie. But okay, we love you all, and have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.